Hey everyone, Happy New Year! It is 2022, and to kick off the new year, I wanted to share in this video some of my favorite and fun penguin themed activities that you can use in a kindergarten, first or second grade classroom. If you've watched my videos before, then welcome back. And if you are new here, my name is Susan Jones. I am a former first grade and K-2 literacy teacher who now spends a whole lot of time here on YouTube sharing tips, ideas, and teaching strategies for teachers just like you. My goal is always to make my videos informative, a little bit entertaining, and mostly just useful. I want you to be able to watch this video, gather some ideas, and use these ideas in your classrooms right away. That being said, if you are ready to start this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and let's dive in. Activity number one is going to be learn a little bit about penguins and learn some penguin facts. So in my SJT writing club, I've actually been uploading monthly writing mini lessons that are themed to each month. And each month I've been picking a different animal or a different topic for students to learn about with a different nonfiction book or maybe a YouTube video, and then they're just going to share some simple informative facts that they have learned. So for January, we are learning about penguins. And in that writing unit, there are a ton of different differentiated writing sheets. There's a little directed drawing for this particular mini lesson. This is like one mini lesson, but I love these can, have, and are sheets. I've been doing them while I've been subbing in my first grade classrooms. I think I've done them for every month. I did a pumpkins one, a reindeer one, and then I'll be doing this penguin fact one too. So basically students will listen to a read aloud, and for some books that I love, I have this one right here, Penguins. These are just ones I've collected over the years. This is a Scholastic book. Penguin Chick, which this is the Let's Read and Find Out About series, which is great. And also I have a National Geographic one that I couldn't find right now. It looks like this right here. And they're all great, they're short, they're student friendly, and they teach about penguins. Now, if you can't find any of these at your local library, there's also this YouTube video that I researched. This one is called Penguins for Kids, Interesting Facts, and it's by Kids Academy on YouTube. I'll go ahead and link all those books and that video down below in case you want to check it out. But essentially, after students learn a little bit about penguins, they go ahead and share some facts that they learned. Penguins can, penguins have, and penguins are. And then it doesn't matter what writing sheet I have students use. For instance, in kindergarten, I wouldn't have my students use this sheet here. I have a big box that looks like this, and they would just write down one fact they learned. But regardless of which sheet they use, we still fill in the illustration box with this fun directed drawing that I have. All those sheets, like I said, are included in my SJT writing club, but they are also on TBT. And of course, you could just get some lined paper, have students learn about penguins, write some facts down, and then find a directed drawing on YouTube or by searching Google. Okay, penguin activity number two is a fun little literacy center. And I searched my TPT store, and this is a freebie I put up. It must have been one of my first ones in like 2012, I believe. It is called Spin a CVC Word. It was a penguin themed activity, and this is what it looked like back in the day. And since I kind of rediscovered it, I thought I would give it a little bit of a glow up. So this is what it looks like now. It's the same exact concept where students will spin all three spinners. They will write down their word and then decide if it is a real or a nonsense word. It's a very simple center, but it's an easy one to throw in a center, and students can use it over and over again. It's also good because it can be played with a partner by taking turns, or it can be used independently. Penguin activity number three is to have yourself a little Tacky book study. I love reading Tacky the Penguin to my students. My students love it because he's a silly, odd little bird. But there are so many different Tacky books you can find. I just grabbed three off my bookshelf right behind me. I have Tacky the Penguin, the original, Tacky and the Emperor, and Tacky and the Winter Games. And actually a few years ago, I made a little Tacky the Penguin book study on TPT. It looks like this. And what I did for that unit is I actually went through 6 of the most common Tacky books, 6 of the most popular ones. And for each book, I went ahead and made some comprehension and vocabulary questions where students could go back into the text and answer them. But there were also some more basic things they could do that you could do without that unit too. First of all, Tacky books are great for talking about adjectives. You can have students describe Tacky, and you can also have them describe Tacky's companions and kind of compare and contrast the two because they're very different penguins. So in the past, I've made an anchor chart that looks like this one when we are describing Tacky the Penguin. But then when I have students go ahead and do this on their own, I extend that activity a little bit with a sheet that looks like this right here. This is from that unit, but again, you don't need this exact sheet to do this activity. I would have them choose 4 different adjectives to describe Tacky, but then also share some evidence from the text that shows when he was that way or why you're choosing that adjective to describe him. You can do that for his companions as well if you are having them describe the companions too. Basically, it's just a great way for them to go back and use some text evidence to support their thoughts and opinions. A couple other things I like doing while doing a Tacky book study is at the end, I like to have them make a little craft like this one where they can decorate their own fun shirt for Tacky to wear. I've also done this before, which is really fun, and that's to have students make a Tacky report card. So they have to look at 4 different traits: braveness, neatness, kindness, and seriousness. And then they will have to give him a grade and then give a reason to kind of defend that grade. So that's another fun one, using adjectives and character traits that really get students thinking. And lastly, number 4 is if you really want to dive on in and get students learning all about penguins, this can be a great one for students to write an all about book. Now, writing an all about book is usually one of my favorite units we do with the class each year. And in that unit, I generally have students pick their own animal to research. We go on Pebble Go and I get a bunch of books, National Geographic for Kids, tons of different information for students to learn about their animal. And then we write a little all about book. But I have had many teachers over the past few years tell me that they use that exact unit, and instead of, choosing any different animal, they do it around winter and they have students write their books about penguins. Penguins seem to be really high engagement for kids, so it works well for that too. And students could make their own cover page, do a diagram of a penguin, show where penguins live, and then they can share a whole bunch of facts all about penguins in their own all about book. Now, of course, that penguin activity is much longer and more in depth, but I did want to pass it along to you just because so many teachers have shared with me that they use that informative writing unit to share about penguins. So I get a tip from teachers and I pass it along to you just in case you want to use it. So there you have 4 fun penguin themed activities that you can use over the next month or so in your classroom. As always, everything I shared in this video will be linked in the description down below, so be sure to check that out if you are interested. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of every new video, which I currently upload videos every Thursday and Sunday morning. Also, for the new year, I did decide to create a separate vlogging channel that looks like this right here. And over there, I share kind of behind the scenes on my subbing days, what I'm working on TPT-wise, and products and units and my clubs, and a little bit about my family life that I wanted to separate from the teaching tips. So if you are at all interested in stuff like that, go ahead over there and you can subscribe to that channel as well. See you in the next one. Bye.